Good morning, everyone. Justin Publon here, Wisconsin WeatherX, WisconsinWX.com meteorologist, tracking the storms this morning. We have a cluster, a pretty large cluster, just grinding through about 2/3 of Wisconsin. You can see here over the last 6 hours how that transitioned out of the Minnesota-Iowa border area eastward into the state and is now, I guess, the strongest part there, heading into northeast Illinois. I saw some really cool shelf cloud photos from that area I will share later. Here's the current warning situation. Again, it's paintball mode out here. And if you're seeing like these random color changes here within this watch area, flood, I think that's actually flash flood watch. If you're seeing that, that's just a matter of priority. If there's 13 warnings or watches out for that county, you just have to choose one. Or maybe it's the most recent one. I'd have to check the logic and the website on that. But either way, heat advisory all the way up now to Minneapolis and over to about Oshkosh area for, I would assume, for the next few days, or at least today. Here's a closer view of what's going on at 7 a.m. So it's 7:05 a.m. right now. And everything's kicking out, a big convective complex, but it's progressive and it's moving out. It's not going to linger. It's not back building. I mean, you do have a little bit of that back building down near Waterloo. But I think that the second round tonight is going to kind of jump over that up into further north, maybe even up into central Wisconsin. Here's these rain reports, right? 1 inch, 1 to 2 inch, that's not a heck of a lot. That's enough, but it's maybe not worthy of a watch. I guess when they issued that watch, it was the midnight run yesterday morning, and may have been a little bit of a knee jerk. So that. We looked at the chase map from today, from overnight. The outlook that we had, we covered. Okay, this is great news. We covered the hail markers, which is not what I was expecting with the storms last night. I was expecting more wind, and there's no wind, but there's hail. So, yeah, that's that. So let's talk about tonight. We're expecting another round of storms. I would put it like around sunset and thereafter into the overnight hours across central and or southern Wisconsin. That's where I'd put it right now. Let's look at some of the models and what they're showing today. This is the convective models, and they did okay yesterday. Did just okay. And they have activity. So this is the NSSL at 7 p.m. tonight, nothing going on. If you look at the ARW, everything's out to the west. And this one surprised me, especially with the departing convective system if things pop up further west. And then the NMMB and the nest, so the NAM nest there. And if we go into the overnight hours closer to 5 or closer to midnight here, most of them have some sort of complex evolving across Wisconsin in a limited fashion. It's not a full-blown widespread outbreak or anything like that. But where you do have it, I'd be concerned about severe weather for sure. Okay, and as you take it through the morning hours, that moves off. So by a sunrise tomorrow morning, you may have some lingering effects, but I would say for the most part it's moving out. Here's a current meso-analysis. Let's go to surface observation and take a look at some of the obs, right? Because you just had that complex moving through this area. The temperatures are going to be down and dew points are just knocked down a little bit. I'm trying to find where we're going to get that 75 to 80 degree dew points today. And I see some 77s. I see a 77 there in Iowa. I see a 75 too. But, sometimes you can have locally higher maximums. So I think it's going to emanate from this area and then move into Wisconsin. And you could have some very serious dew point temperatures, 75 to 80 today across southern Wisconsin. And that's part of the issue with the storms tonight is there's just so much energy there. If you take a step back, though, you're going to see, and I'm going to bring the radar back up. Now, this is a little bit of a problem, I would say, right off the bat. And again, I haven't had really much time this morning to kind of vet all this, but if this keeps going, it's going to intercept this northwest flow of moisture. This is the warm front, warm sector here. So this would have to shut off to get anything going north. This is the update from last night on tonight's event, and I've put it into the. Let's go into a tighter view here. I've put this kind of in the isolated strong to severe category, and I have it probably too far north at this point. I might want to drop that south. I haven't had a chance to update it, but this is the area I'm kind of watching at the moment. So that's the update I have for you on tonight's event. Like I said, I think it's going to be mainly after dark across central and or southern Wisconsin. I would say that damaging wind gusts, large hail, maybe even a tornado or bookend vortex type deal could be involved. Just given, I mean, why don't we just go take a look at some of these? The situation evolves as, like I mentioned, it looks like the heat and humidity is going to evolve out of Iowa, and a big reservoir here forming by 7 p.m. tonight, and it's just sort of getting into eastern Wisconsin. I would say it's better off, definitely in southwest Wisconsin. So there's sort of a transition, a boundary, or it's moving in as opposed to being there already. Meanwhile, you have the development kind of going on out here at 7 p.m. Big reservoir of a strong destabilization with all that heat and humidity. As we go into the evening, that shifts east as the storms press through. So you're going to have a big maybe a big bubble of instability that travels with the storms tonight. And then you have, let's go into some of these other convective. Supercell composite, again, it's just going to show that the parameters are really collecting and really congregating here and then sliding east with it. And this is kind of a weird aberration. I don't know if I'd buy into that. I just think it's saying that even towards the midnight hour, you could still have surface-based issues. You know, you could still have some very strong storms there. SIGTOR, just for kicks and gigs. Again, it's really highlighting that region of Wisconsin as opposed to any other, and saying central Wisconsin has been very consistent about that. And then into the overnight hours, right? So midnight. So this is concerning to me, just because we want to just not overlook this. We need to pay attention. And then just the updraft helicity situation here. So you do have some helicity tracks here through Wisconsin, but nothing that's like from one state to another. Not like a 3-state track. But you do have this signature here that's saying, you know, maybe you're going to have some of that organization even in the midnight hour. Yeah, I mean, if we pop over to the NAM, it's even more aggressive, and this, again, is the 06Z model. I prefer to work off of the 00 and the 12Z, just personal preference. And as we go to the Midwest here, showing that popping up there after 7 p.m. Minnesota and then translating east into Wisconsin. So that's definitely something to watch. If we go to the convective situation here, because all this reservoir that's sitting here is just going to be pulled right into it. And I don't care if it's, you know, a little bit elevated. Doesn't bother me today. I think that it's just all going to be, you know, it just takes a little tug there on the surface layer to pull up some issues. Let's see. So, I mean, SIGTOR is, again, maxed out across central Wisconsin. I mean, this is part of the concern. Again, I think the concern can kind of be reduced by the coverage of storms, perhaps, or kind of the current conditions. This might cast some doubt, right? Because we talked about this band here that's formed in Iowa. That casts some doubt on whether things will totally come together there, as modeled, you know, on the NAM and so forth. Maybe we could look at some of the other things. I mean, things really escalate because by the time when you close in on midnight, you're starting to get the low-level jet interaction going, and I think as that happens, you could really turn, you know, get lit, so to speak. All right, that's the update I have. I'm gonna move on to Friday now, talk about that for a bit. So thanks for watching. I will keep you updated on the page and Facebook and the group. Thanks for watching.